Welcome to this explainer. We spend our entire lives building these comfortable little routines, right? We put up safety protocols, we create these cozy environments where we feel absolutely, completely safe. But what happens when that whole illusion of safety just completely shatters? Well, today we're going to analyze 5 absolutely shocking moments caught on camera to understand the terrifying realities of human error and the unstoppable forces of nature. Seriously, ask yourself, do you truly know how to survive the unpredictable when your illusion of control is suddenly shattered? The really terrifying thing here is just how quickly a totally normal, average day can spiral completely out of control. So we're going to count down 5 specific instances from our source material that reveal exactly what goes down when things go horribly, horribly wrong, and more importantly, what we can learn from those terrifying seconds. All right, let's jump right into it. Number 5, skiing's unexpected deadly risks. Think about this number for a second. 600,000 annual ski-related injuries nationwide, along with an average of 54 deaths every single year. That staggering statistic immediately grounds the horrifying incidents we're analyzing today in cold, hard, objective reality. Listen, we aren't just talking about freak 1 in a million accidents here. We're talking about a persistent statistical risk that literally every skier takes the exact moment they strap on their boots and head toward that ski lift. Now, this data brilliantly illustrates a really surprising truth. I mean, you'd probably expect the steep, jagged, crazy expert slopes to be the deadliest ones, right? Well, actually, scratch that. 54% of fatalities actually happen on beginner-friendly trails. Compare that to just 31% on expert trails. It turns out these deaths most commonly result from folks hitting trees or falling off cliffs. So yeah, it's actually the beginners or even experienced people just taking it easy on those green circles who are statistically at the highest risk of a fatal collision. Wild, right? And here is where we see a terrifying gap between our safety equipment and reality. Helmet technology is generally designed to protect riders going at about 12 miles per hour. But get this, a typical collision with a tree or even another rider happens at 25 to 40 miles per hour. That is a massive difference. Now, while the skiers documented in our source footage miraculously survived terrifying crashes over cliffs with just broken bones, let's be real, their helmet technology was vastly outmatched by the actual speeds of those collisions. They were saved by sheer, pure luck, definitely not engineering. Okay, moving on to number 4, the Midnight Rider set tragedy. So this crew was filming an unauthorized dream sequence for a movie, and they actually placed a hospital bed directly on live train tracks. I mean, you can already see where this is going. When a real freight train approached, the crew desperately, frantically tried to pull that prop off the tracks, but they simply weren't fast enough. The train collided with the bed, causing it to recoil incredibly violently, and tragically, 27-year-old camerawoman Sarah Jones was struck and killed instantly. The footage the crew captured reveals this frantic, terrifying scramble that ended a young life in literally a matter of seconds. As a result of all this, the director pleaded guilty to manslaughter and served 2 years in prison. And honestly, it's just a stark, heavy reminder of the severe, real-world consequences of ignoring safety protocols. The craziest part? There had been previous attempts to drop this dangerous scene entirely, but the director deliberately chose to move forward anyway. The illusion of control here was this fatal, mind-boggling belief that a film production schedule was somehow immune to the reality of an oncoming freight train. Now, bringing us to number 3, out-of-control zorbing. If you don't know, zorbing involves strapping yourself inside a giant inflatable ball and just sort of bouncing down a nice, gentle, designated hill. Fun, right? Well, imagine the absolute sheer helplessness of veering completely off that designated path and tumbling almost 1 full mile down a jagged mountain. In the footage, someone actually managed to get in front of the ball momentarily to try and stop it, but no way. The momentum was just way too great. It slammed into rocks as it picked up terrifying speed, completely and utterly out of the rider's control. The fates of the 2 men trapped inside really emphasize just how chaotic and unpredictable this outcome was. Dennis Burr, who was just 27 years old, suffered a fatal spinal cord injury and tragically passed away on the way to the hospital. Yet the other rider, 33-year-old Vladimir Sherbakov, somehow survived with just a concussion and some deep cuts to his arms and face. Think about that. 2 men inside the exact same rolling sphere, yet the terrifying randomness of that tumbling ball dictated 2 entirely different fates. Hitting number 2 on our explainer, stalked by a black bear. Get us together, we look bigger together. Listening to the frantic real-time audio of these two runners, wow, it instantly places you right there in that life or death moment. They had to completely stop their workout on the Machituan trails in Alberta because this black bear just emerged from the woods and began slowly, methodically tracking them. What's super alarming here is how many people would watch an animal act exactly like this and just assume, oh, it's just being curious or playful. Well, let's shatter that dangerous myth of the friendly bear right now. Look at this. Over 90% of black bear encounters are predatory. Under 10% are non-predatory. So no, this was definitely not a playful animal just looking for a little snack. Our source material notes this was very likely an inexperienced bear actively testing them. It was literally calculating the odds, trying to figure out if attacking these two humans would be worth the energy and effort. So what you should really take away from this is how the runners wisely used some very specific tactics to stay alive until the bear finally lost interest. First, they huddled closely together to appear as a larger, much more intimidating target. Depending on the exact bear situation, experts also advise standing still like a plank, or sometimes even playing dead. But you know what the absolutely most crucial rule is? Never start running away in close proximity. Seriously. Had these two runners panicked and sprinted, their movement would have instantly triggered the bear's predatory drive, and the outcome would have almost certainly been fatal. And finally, reaching number 1, inside an EF4 tornado. The audio documented from this event is, honestly, just completely chilling. You can hear the visceral dread and the real-time escalation. It goes from this relatively calm observation of the weather outside to absolute, raw, unfiltered panic. At first, the man filming is just sort of watching the funnel cloud off in the distance. But within moments, everything goes pitch black, and the absolute deafening roar of an EF4 tornado passes directly over his family's home. When that storm finally passes and the man steps outside, man, the raw emotion in his voice perfectly captures the unimaginable shock of losing everything in a split second. He is just completely in disbelief, crying out that his house is destroyed and that the neighbors' homes are literally just gone. He's trying to process this brand new, terrifying reality that arrived in a matter of seconds. The footage here paints such a terrifying picture, proving how miles of perfect stability can be totally erased in just 60 seconds. I mean, before the tornado, it was this picture-perfect community, right? A wealthier area, nice-looking houses, green, open land. And after the tornado passed, nothing but rubble for miles. All of those nice trees, all of those beautiful homes completely eradicated, wiped completely off the map. And this leaves us with a really chilling reminder. No matter our preparations, nature can and will always win. Knowing that it literally only takes a minute for Mother Nature to erase everything we've built, who really has the ultimate control here? I mean, we buy the helmets, we institute the strict safety protocols on film sets, we build these sturdy brick houses. And don't get me wrong, we should absolutely do all of those things. But when the dust settles, the events we've looked at in our explainer today show us just how incredibly vulnerable we really are. So respect the elements, follow the safety rules, and whatever you do, never ever take your illusion of control for granted. Stay safe out there, everyone.